Today, I'm going to be sharing with you a complete breakdown of BigBear.AI. Hopefully, you guys enjoy. So, BigBear.AI is a stock that we've been covering here on the channel from back around November and under $2 a share. And it has had this consistent uptrend. I think it was back here that people were saying maybe this was a pump and dump, and that's hilarious. Started to see that it did develop a consistent trend, as now it's starting to push up and develop a new trend. Now I want to just get rid of all these drawings. I want to take a step back. We have this 200-day moving average here. We have this EMA, and I want to just take a look at this stock from an objective point of view. There's three things that we're going to look at for BigBear.AI. We do a 3-point analysis for most stock analysis. If you'd like to stay up to date and get those analysis on a daily basis, make sure to subscribe and do consider checking us out if you'd like to watch us trade live each day at market open. Stockmate is that second link down below. We'll be going live at 6:30 a.m. Pacific time pretty early tomorrow. The first thing we look at is the market. The second thing we look at is the analysis. And then the third thing we look at is the plan, the profit. What does it look like? BigBear.AI, while it's soared tremendously and some sort of trends are starting to develop, before we could look at the chart, I first want to look at this market. So let's have a conversation here. BigBear.AI market size. Let's see what we get here. So as of, what is that, February, we have 2.26 market cap. That's not the best setup. Let's go and check this out. There we go. BigBear.AI has a market cap of 2.12 billion. So they're starting to become larger. They were I think they're around 500 million when we started covering them. This is a company that's in the same market as Palantir. So if you guys are familiar, Palantir has grown in the past year from being under $20 a share, I think at one point, to up to $124 a share. And it's a market cap of $283 billion. So much larger than Big Bear. But the reason we compare the two is because they're in the same market. Now, BigBear.AI has some similar approaches. BigBear.AI has the airports where they provide their AI software that scans faces. They have Air Force contracts. They have contracts with the Army, contracts with the Department of Defense and Secretary of Defense. And they're in national security. So they're right there with Palantir. They have a partnership with Palantir, among other companies. Their CEO, Kevin, I believe it's McAleenan. That's what it is. BigBear.AI. If you go to their website, you can see their CEO here. Something to know about their CEO is that he is formerly in the Department of Defense, I believe. Let's see where he was. CEO, Kevin McAleenan, and the member of board of directors effective January 15th. So it's been just about a month since succeeding Mandy Long. And McAleenan served as BigBear.AI's president and has developed relationships in Department of Homeland Security, U.S. national security agencies, and that was during the first Trump administration before founding Pangiam, which was a company that was bought by BigBear.AI. So McAleenan was commissioner of U.S. Customs and Border Protection. So you can see he's up there. He focused on counterterrorism, border security, and immigration enforcement, following almost 2 decades as a career official. Before I continue, my wife, Tammy, is from Argentina, and she is going through a lot of the process of becoming a U.S. citizen. She first got trapped in COVID. That's actually how we met. And she has gone through the peculiar process of becoming a U.S. citizen through all of the green cards, the work authorization, the different applications. There was like 27 documents that were submitted. I'm familiar. It's a complicated, and that's just one little aspect of U.S. Customs or Homeland Security. There's about 1,000 other different departments So, acting Secretary of U.S. Department of Homeland Security is a fairly big role. And not only that, that means that this CEO is very connected in the industry. That means that he's connected in, let's see, border protection, homeland security. You could see TSA, U.S. Coast Guard, cybersecurity and infrastructure security, and Secret Service and others. His past experiences include implementing innovations to the U.S. international arrival and departure process, developing comprehensive counterterrorism and risk management strategies, overseeing an implementation of the U.S. government's single window for international trade, a project that spanned 4 dozen agencies. Kevin received several awards for his service and leadership, including Presidential Rank Award, the highest civil service award, a Service to America Medal, and the multiple awards for travel and trade industries. Why do I bring this up? Well, if you look at this company, you're going to see that they're really well connected with a bunch of other companies, and a bunch of contracts are most likely on the way. They already have a fair amount of contracts. And so now we see this. Okay, so they're in a market that's growing very fast. It's the military market. It is the border security market. They're processing millions of data points and processing them all. Now, that's a big market they're in. The other market that they're in that's going to be interesting outside of government and defense, you could look at some of their stuff, but their healthcare. Same thing with Palantir. A lot of people overlook this. They say it's mostly going to be governments, contracts with their military and things like that. For sure. But what about that partnership that Palantir has with Boston Hospital, where they run millions of data points through a their AI platform, to connect the right doctors with the right patients on autopilot and do all that scheduling on autopilot, and an AI handles all of that to give the best experience to the people there. That's something that BigBear.AI could potentially do. It says, using our predictive and prescriptive simulation solutions, you can be confident you are making the right decisions when it matters most. You can see hospital staffing requirements, equipment planning, hospital emergency preparedness. So the reason I bring this up is because there's multiple markets we're in now. We're also seeing them expand. Now, that's something that you could see part of this surge to $8. If they're in the markets that we are seeing them get into, and we've looked at the markets now we get into the analysis. And the analysis is A, B, and C. A being the chart, B being the financials, and C being the news, the fundamentals. The chart here has been interesting because it recently kind of shot up and broke out. So we could see this trend for sure down here, and we have mapped it out many times. There's a rising support there and a rising resistance. You could see it pretty clearly right there. Pretty clear trend. I think most would agree. That's a very clear and healthy trend. Now this kind of more or less this resistance here, if I just bring this up a little bit there, kind of the trajectory, that rising resistance was then acting as a support. So it broke up, and now it's been trying to hold this bullish, hyper bullish pattern. So the new kind of trend that we're starting to potentially see develop is related to, you have this overextension up to 1050, and we're most likely not going to see this sell off too far. But maybe this is a longer trend in what will be a much more explosive growth in the next 3 months to 6 months. And maybe we see it sell back down to this $7.50 price point. It's quite possible. But just remember, it wasn't long ago that Palantir was in a similar position. It was at maybe $7 or $20 a share before rocketing to what is now 123. So this move that took place, where it did get from down here basically $3.50 up to this $10.50 price range, was a 14-day swing. I mean, it was 2 weeks that we saw this 200% increase. So it's likely that the next move will be similarly fast, and potentially there's no indication that it's going to reverse. Right now, it's at a point where it's at this previous resistance. Maybe I can get an even better candlestick map out there. Previous resistance here. Okay. This is its current price point, basically. Previous resistance, previous support right here, previous consolidation. Okay, so you can see that. And if we stretch that out here, you can see that it is at this previous support and resistance. How likely it is that it bounces here? It's possible that it will bounce here, and that would be a bullish trend. And then we most likely would see, with the exception of maybe it missing out on some momentum right here, you could start to see a trend develop like so. So let's kind of bring this down and get rid of these so that you're not confused like I was when I did that. And kind of look at this trend that's starting to develop. Now it's much more bullish. It's much more aimed up, much more than we've seen in the past. And maybe that's not right. Maybe we need to bring it in and kind of actually include that right there. And then that would kind of balance things out. Maybe bring them down, bring it in here, this resistance here, drop it in like that. And then maybe it's a little more conservative. And possibly this is the trend that we're seeing develop. Now, it's possible it's going to be more of a sell-off, even down to the support. It's kind of hard to tell, but I'll tell you, this trajectory that we're seeing with BigBear.AI, it's tremendous. And the markets that they're breaking into are tremendous as well. So there's some things to look at in the chart right now. RSI and MACD looking oversold, so indicating more of a buy. There's no indication of any reversal at this moment. I might wait for a little more confirmation at market open tomorrow. And if you guys want to join me at market open, it's the second link down below, Stockmate. We trade live there each day. Today, we didn't have the most stellar day. We're still up in the portfolio about 0.3%. And we traded Rigetti stock, and we had some of our other positions carry the profits for today. But again, we do trade live each day at market open if you want to be there. So the reason that I'm saying this about the chart here, there's no indication that's going to reverse, but RSI and MACD do indicate that. We'll also be using some new indicators in the near future. There's a lot of indicators that we can jump into, and I'd love to jump into some more. So we'll most likely be using a lot more indicators. These are the ones that work for me. Pretty simple approach. We're looking at some of the things that BigBear is having some similarities to Palantir. I don't know about you guys, but there's been times where you see a pattern, you see a stock do a certain thing in a certain market, and then you find another company and you look at it and you say, this kind of looks familiar. I think I've seen something like this happen before, where a company starts to get traction. And that's something that I personally see with BigBear.AI. When we get into BigBear.AI's financials, if you look at their quarter-over-quarter revenue, 40 million, they're staying consistent. 33 million, 39 million in revenue, and then 41 million in that last quarter. We'll see what the next quarter 4 looks like. But then you have, some of the net income is down year over year. Net profit margins down a little bit. They have fluctuated, and some of them have improved and then gone back down. But when you look at the news that comes out with BigBear.AI, so those are some of the financials. Not the most prettiest, but definitely not too bad. And it's more about their positioning here that we're seeing. You're going to see, this is kind of the third piece of that analysis, which is there's a lot of hype articles. So it's gaining momentum. It's getting massive volume, and there are some things that people are looking at. I believe maybe it was talk of warrants that people were trading as well that weren't even fully congruent with the value, and that they might have been undervalued compared to where BigBear.AI was going. And so you can see a lot of you got an AI generated article there, 10 best performing AI stocks, Business Wire, Motley Fool. There's a lot of hype articles. I wish there was some more concrete stuff. There's a lot of hypey hype, and that's fine. That's what happens when people are just covering stuff to cover stuff, and I get it. But when it comes down to the value that we're looking for in the company and how they're providing that value, you can see a lot of new contracts on the way, and you see a lot of indication that they're improving, and I like to see it. So the last thing I want to talk about today before we get into the profit plan for BigBear is actually this thing that I got offered earlier today. I'm getting offered about $1,000 per video to do something, to promote something to you guys. And I actually wanted to take this opportunity to tell you that I'm not taking that promotion, and that I want to share with you the dangers of listening to big articles, listening to hype, listening to all these hype articles. And I think if we go to YouTube here, we can head over to the YouTube. That is my drive folder. So we can head over here. And if you search in here, I think it's called Moo Moo. This is the company. There's a lot of people that are promoting this platform. It's a brokerage, and they don't have US based stuff. You can see they have disclaimers, and some people are putting money into this brokerage and they're losing it. And so when it comes to making money, when it comes to using trusted brokerages that are good and that keep you in a position where your money is safe and you're going to be making money, I want you to know I'm never going to be like one of these channels where I'm promoting something that I know will not bring you value in the long term. And so you can see all of these people that are promoting this because they're getting paid thousands of dollars per video. And that's what I've been offered. And I'm just taking this moment to tell you in an instant that I said no. And the reason I said no is because I know that if there's one thing that is valuable about this here is you spending your time watching this video and taking your time out of your day. And I would hope that you walk out of here with every video that we watch, that you've found that you've maintained or exceeded the amount of value that is worth of your time to be here, that you received more value in return. And I would never promote something or put you in a position where you're not going to receive more value had you not been a part of it. Does that make sense? I want you to always walk away with more value than you had before. And so I'll never promote something that would cause you to lose money, and that's not my intention. And I share that with you guys. I know some of you guys copy trade me in the mornings in StockMate. Sometimes that goes well. Sometimes that goes bad because you don't see exactly when I exit. Now I give you my plan, my entries, my exits. And the reason I share this is so that you know that I value those things and I don't take it for granted. I appreciate every single one of you guys. We're growing extremely fast. We're almost to 20,000 subscribers. It wasn't long ago. We were just at 5,000. We're on the road to 100,000. And I appreciate you guys so much. And thank you so much for all the support. I read all of your comments. There's a ton of really great stocks you guys are recommending. I want to go over them all, and I'm putting together a list on them. So thank you guys for sharing those. And if you have any thoughts on Big Bear, someone said earlier today, they said, Will, seems like you're covering the stock and it's the same thing every time. Well, there's moves that happen each day, and some of the news doesn't maybe accelerate, but to keep you in check and see you, or keep you on the, keep you up to date with what's going on, I think is valuable. So I'll continue to make some updates. Let me know if you'd like otherwise. But regardless, I'm interested in this. That's why I started the channel, and I hope this passion continues to bring value to you. So thank you guys again. Friendly reminder, speaking of investments that are worth it, the profit potential for BigBear.AI. What we're looking at here is if it keeps this trend that you start to see develop, we'd be looking at a continuation of this pattern would be about a 32% increase. Do you see that? Now it's possible it sells down a little bit more before making that move, and it's possible that it takes longer, but I could see this recovery up into this $10 to $11 range from where it's currently at. It's a 32% increase, and it's quite possible to take place in the course of a day or two, as we've seen here in the past. So we'll be seeing if any opportunities present themselves at market open. If you guys would like to join me, again, it's that second link in the description. Thank you guys so much for watching again. That's the move we're watching, and we'll see if it holds this level at this previous resistance. Thank you guys again, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care.